Welcome to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where fantasy and fun come to life.
If you're watching this, you've been selected as one of Freddy's Springlock Suit performers. Congratulations!
But what are Springlocks, and how do they work?
Well, let's dive right into that.
Springlocks are metal components that are spring-loaded, as the name suggests.
These Springlocks can be found in some of Freddy's older models.
This includes characters such as Artie Ogg, Sparky the Dog, Barry V. Bear, Ella the Doll, Yellow Bear, and Yellow Rabbit. Adorable, aren't they?
However, their insides aren't so plush and cuddly. Here, we have a decommissioned Springlock suit that has been offline for quite a long time. It is currently set in performer mode. The endo is pushed back and the Springlocks are open, allowing enough space for a performer to climb right inside.
These sprung metal parts clamp down onto the animatronic endoskeletons to keep them centered in the suit. The Springlocks have to be super strong to hold an endoskeleton in place. Springlocks can be wound up with a Springlock hand crank. Once you hear a click, then you know it's locked in place.
The hand crank allows the animatronic parts in the main endoskeleton to be moved into the back of the suit, while clamps and metal stabilizers will move away into the fronts of the costume.
Again, providing enough space for a performer to climb inside and wear the suit comfortably.
Keep in mind, these suits are older in technology and can be dangerous.
But what makes these suits so dangerous?
Well, if someone were to be inside the suit while the Springlocks went off, the Springlocks would clamp down on the performer, causing major bodily harm. The strength and quickness of Springlocks can cut through skin and puncture major arteries.
But that's why you're here, learning about Springlocks. And there's really nothing to worry about.
There are only 3 things that can really set off Springlocks, starting with number 1. Most obvious would be the Springlock hand crank, as this is used to tie in and loosen Springlocks.
Only loosen empty Springlock suits to revert them back to their animatronic form. There must be at least 2 Springlock performers on site at all times. Let's take a look at this costume. This one is already in animatronic mode. As you can see, the eyes have moved into their sockets, and the gears that they've locked into the endoskeleton's head.
This here hand crank can be used to recoil the Springlocks,
Moving the eyes so the performer can see through the eye sockets.
and allow the performer to remove the endo head from inside the suit.
Number 2, unmaintained Springlocks.
The Springlocks here must be clean and maintained. If they're not, they'll become weak and unstable. To do this, first put it back in animatronic mode, wipe it down, and then apply the rust prevention solution.
A well-maintained Springlock suit will be strong enough to allow you to do all kinds of movement, including extreme movements such as running, jumping, and kicking, and allow you to dance with our esteemed party guests. Even more so, a well-maintained Springlock suit will not be weak or fragile. It should allow you to move comfortably with ease.
Finally, number 3. Springlocks can be loosened by water or moisture.
If enough water got into the suit, it will loosen the Springlocks, causing them to activate.
In the unlikely case of an emergency, such as a fire, if the sprinkler system above you turns on, make sure you run backstage and have the suit removed immediately.
There are only a few areas in Freddy's that have fire extinguishers instead of sprinklers, those being the main stage, the secondary stage, and backstage.
Worried about sweat causing the Springlocks to go off? Don't fret. That's why you'll be provided with a jumpsuit to wear underneath your costume. This jumpsuit will be in the color of your character, while spare ones are colored gray. This will prevent sweat from loosening the Springlocks and keeping the suit smelling fresh, as the jumpsuit can be washed.
In the extremely unlikely event of the Springlock going off, make sure to press firmly down on the nose and make your way very quickly backstage. This will make a squeaking sound that will play throughout the pizzeria speaker system, alerting other Springlock employees of the issue.
While these suits don't do as much anymore with Freddy and his friends taking center stage, they still make for great quality suits. And even though removing the Springlocks would make the suit safer, because of how the suit is attached to the Springlocks, removing them has a high chance of damaging the exterior of the suit and ripping the foam and fabric. Unfortunately for this costume, being the first attempt to remove the Springlocks from the suit, suffered some damage on many costume pieces.
So why not buy a new suit? Because replacing the suits is way more expensive than using and maintaining the cool characters we already have.
So, let's recap, shall we? To wear a Springlock suit, you will start with the costume always in animatronic mode, so it can quickly be brought to perform on the secondary stage if needed.
Start by moving the animatronic to the suit up chair. Convert the mascot head to performer mode via the Springlocks in the back of the mask. This allows the removal of the mascot head.
Carefully help the endo sit into the chair. Once sat, open the front chest piece of the costume.
Wind the Springlocks from the center back of the endoskeleton. Slowly, the Springlocks will open until you hear a click. Remember this point in the process for later.
This will cause all the limbs on the endoskeleton to go limp. Once done, remove the endoskeleton head with the 3 bolts where the head connects. Once removed, you can then remove the hands of the endo by the 2 bolts that surround the wrists. Then, take the endo hands out of the foam costume hands.
Once everything is done, the person performing should now put on their jumpsuit. The person helping the performer should help the suit stand up to the best of their abilities. The performer should step through the stomach into the legs of the costume.
The performer should then put their arms through the costume arms. The mascot head and hands helped on by the performer helper. Now you are ready to be the character.
To remove the suit, do everything in reverse order. Remember that step to remember from earlier? When the endoskeleton is open, sitting on the chair and empty, close the Springlocks and apply the rest prevention solution. And then continue on with the steps in reverse.
And there you have it! We learned what Springlocks are and how to use them safely.
You are now ready to be the next Springlock performer. Just remember to smile and stay in character.
And most importantly, be safe and don't get yourself springlocked.